like highly critical of everything, negative towards performance, as whether it be in business or as my personal relationships. Okay. Anyway, breaking free from that, I had to look at, well, what made me that way?
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's break that down. I said already, I was in a highly pressured environment with religion.
Yep.
I had parents that I was constantly trying to please.
Yep.
Okay. Let's table them though. Let's just look at sports.
Yeah.
And let's say I played baseball at a high level, so I always had coaches that were always, and baseball's a game of failure. They're always telling you how bad you sucked.
Yep.
Okay. Not a whole lot of how good you were, how bad you were.
Yeah.
Like, call home, you went 3 for 4. What'd you do on that out? Talk to your coach. Like, it was always like, negative feedback. Okay. Yeah. So you're constantly being criticized. Then I went to the military. Guess what happens there? Same stuff. Same stuff, right? And then I go to corporate. And then for 8 years in the corporate world, I was told everywhere I sucked so that I could be better. Yeah. Okay. Well, what does that do to you? You bring that shit home.
That breaks you down, man.
You bring it home. And whether we want to admit this or not, here's what I've said this, and I know we're not a career advice type podcast, but let's use a resume as an example. If I give a resume to 100 people, I'm going to get 100 different opinions.
Yes.
Which one's right?
None and all.
Doesn't fucking matter.
None and all. It doesn't matter.
It's no different than a manager, right? And this really came to light for me whenever I was in the corporate world, where I had one boss that loved me, and I had another boss that told me everything. I was being told this was to make me better.
Yes.
But was constantly giving criticism.
Yeah.
Where I needed to be better and what I'm not very good at. And I actually told that boss one time, I was like, well, I don't agree with you because you operate one way and I operate a different way.
Yeah.
Who is right and who is wrong?
Yeah.
So my whole point of even saying any of this stuff is everybody has an opinion. Who fucking cares?
Yeah.
You got to do you to the best of your abilities. And when some of these things start to come to the surface, like criticism, and somebody calls you on it, figure out why you're like that.
Yes.
Dive into
why do you react that way?
Right.
And I think the next step that I want to go to is I want to give some of the tools we've both used on how to deal with this, right? So again, let's break this down. Every single one of us are carrying trauma. Can I just quickly
say, I think you have to be curious, though, to fix this.
You have to want to be better, and you have to be willing to dig into yourself.
You do. If you don't have this pursuit of wanting to be better, you're never going to change. You're never going to fix it. You have to be curious to fix it.
And if you have this idea that you're okay and you can deal with everything, trust me, you can. We can all deal with it, but when you immediately just say yourself, I'm okay, right? Yeah. What you're doing is you're blocking yourself off from diving into it. And the most amazing thing is especially when you do an NLP and hypnosis session, right? You go in there and you think you have it figured out. You write your little paperwork and you say, this is everything. And you start doing the session. And as you go through the guided meditation, then all of a sudden you realize, oh my God, what I thought was the triggers are not what I at all thought.
Yeah.
And we've done guided meditation on that. I've done a lot of personal introspection work, as you have. And I want to give some fundamental tools of things that you need to do to be able to deal with this. So the first layer is, no matter how well put together you think you are, right? Yeah. I'm saying this very openly. It doesn't mean this in no way, shape, or form makes you a bad person, but we all have trauma.
Oh yeah.
Our traumas can be as simple as something that happened in our childhood that other people will not think is traumatic, but it affected us traumatically.
And just quickly to that point, when I did NLP and hypnosis, I identified things that I completely forgot about and buried.
You see what I mean?
Completely forgot about and buried.
Yeah. So, those things come up, right? So we're talking about just average, normal life, your parents, and all parents' intent is good for their child. Yep. They're human beings. They're enacting what they feel is the best. But no matter how good they think they're doing, there's going to be something they do that just hits you as a child. That's just the natural progression of that. So I feel, regardless of whether you've been through, military action like you, me going through coming from a third world country and having all these massive issues, I think the fundamental thing you have to first say to yourself, if you want to be better, right? If you want to be a better human being, the first thing you've got to do is sit down and go, no matter how well together I think I am, I will always have to work on my triggers and my traumas, because no matter how good I think I am, it's a constant work. I'm testament to this, so are you. It's consistent. It doesn't stop, but it does make life better.
I will say, one of the things I'm working really hard with now is I'm trying to just bring peace to my home, okay? And children, ours are young, right? 8, 6, and 4. And a trigger for me, my girls are my world.
Yeah.
Don't hurt my girls. My son right now has, we're teaching our kids, fighting skills.
Which is good.
And they like to use them on each other for whatever reason.
Sounds about right.
We're fighting that fight, if you will. But one of the things that really gets to me is when my son hits them or kicks them. And it's a trigger for me because like I want to defend, right? And so I'm working really hard about just like teaching him.
Yeah.
But my whole point of even bringing that up is to say, you're still going to have triggers.
Of course.
It doesn't go when you start doing these deep work. But now you're going to develop tools, though.
Yes.
To help you. I actually told this guy yesterday, I'm still me. I'm still human.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm still highly competitive.
Yep.
I'm still a man, if you will, what I would like to believe an elite man who is not afraid to kill if I had to kill.
Yes.
I don't know if that's the way to say that, but anyway, I am going to mess up.
Yes.
In my relationships.
Yes.
Ownership is key.
Yeah.
But the tools that I have to recover faster are what's important. Nothing is going to just completely eliminate.
No.
I think another thing, and I don't want to forget this because I really want to say this. You mentioned your parents earlier.
Yeah.
A really healing thing to do, and I found tons of healing with us and my parents in that relationship, is to say stuff like this. And I feel like you've done this too. And I'll use my dad. Hey, Dad, I really appreciate all the things that you did for me, but I'm going through some stuff. This is what I'm kind of unpacking.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to make you aware of this.
Yes.
I don't blame you. I don't fault you. I know you were doing everything you possibly could.
Yeah.
But this is what I'm experiencing as a result of that. I just wanted you to know that.
Yeah.
But you're still a great dad. I still care about you.
That approach is perfect. And listen, you might hit that approach. And again, remember, parents are people too.
Yeah.
They're on their own personal journey. And you might say that and they may have a defensive reaction to it, right? Because they don't want to deal with the fact that they may have messed up, right? And as you said, you're still a great dad. I had the same conversation with mine. I was like, you know what? When these fundamental things that you did when you were a kid were great, but there was these things that you did that just, they didn't resonate with me. When you did this, it made me feel like less of a person. Mm-hmm. And I don't blame you for it. I understand. And the best part of having that conversation is when you take, as an adult now, and you bring your dad back to when he was raising you, right? Especially with you with young kids. And you realize that he was doing the best he can, and no one's questioning this. Yeah. But what we're talking about is we're talking about the process, because what's beautiful with parents, I've had that with my parents, I'm sure you've had that with your dad, as you just explained, is you go through this process of having this open-ended conversation as adults, loving conversation with your parents, where they acknowledge, you know what, we did the best we can, but we messed up a lot. And that is important.
Bro,
right?
it's healing, I think, for both parties.
Man, that acknowledgement, because whether they admit it or not, deep down they know.
Yeah,
right? They're people, of course they know. But when you can lay down there and you still show that love and that empathy for them, and you show an understanding of what they went through when they were younger, man, it changes the relationship.
It really does. And I think I grew up in extreme religion, right? And there's a big part of me that thinks that my parents probably still believe in the way they raised us. It was the right way to raise us. Okay, and that's okay. That's their opinion.
Yeah.
I have a disdain for organized religion. Yeah. I don't like it. I have a faith with God and Jesus, but I don't like religion. Yeah. And I feel like a lot of human beings misinterpret the
relationship
Bible or the relationship with God. And so for me, I didn't agree with the way I was raised at this point in my life. I don't but that doesn't mean I couldn't do anything to change that. I couldn't do anything to go back in time to be like, oh no, don't do this.